You're watching TVC Breakfast, and on this segment, we've been talking about the revelation, if I have to use the word, by the DSS that there are some misguided elements within Nigeria that thinking, plotting, planning, or imagining a situation where there will be an interim government instead of swearing in the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, on May 29th. And we are looking at the implication of this. Of course, the DSS has sent a message out to all those who are involved in that plan that it will not come to fruition. They should shelve the plan and ensure that the democratic process is respected according to law. And we have in the studio Michael Opute as well as Abraham Great. They've been helping to make sense of this discussion. All right, Abraham, let me come to you on this. The issue there is the DSS, like Michael said earlier, have the role to ensure that they get intelligence and prevent anything that will truncate the system in a way that Nigerians mustn't even know that anything like that is going on. However, we're here now already. What do you think? How best do you think the DSS should go about this? Whether Nigerians know or Nigerians don't know.
First of all, we have to remember that the Constitution is supreme. Mm-hmm. You know, the section 1(2) of the Constitution establishes the fact that the Constitution is supreme. So both the DSS, both the aggrieved persons, both the president-elect, INEC, everybody has to work in the confine of the provisions of the Constitution. In the case of the DSS, they have the role to disseminate this information. So my opinion is that what are the level of cascading that information? So I'm sure that they would have, briefed all the security apparatus in the country and briefed the president. And then I believe also maybe they have been given the permission to make this public. Like we saw in the terms of INEC server being in the cybercrime, almost 1-point-something million arc. And some people are disbelieving
12 million, actually.
I mean, 12 million.
12 million.
That is not
across
out of this world. We saw that in American election. We saw that in the UK during Brexit. We saw this is an in thing right now. Now, why are we here and why should DSS come here? We have a situation where the president-elect have the minority of vote in the history of this country. And why did that? I will go back to the issue of my situation with democracy. I want to love democracy. I want to be completely democratic. But what I believe is that we should use democracy in such a way that we have brought it home and prepare it for our own situation, our uniqueness, bearing in mind how diverse we are as a people. So in this case, you look at the constitution that we have, and we're looking at what are people saying about this constitution. The people are saying, first of all, they don't trust the 1999 constitution. They want constitutional amendment. But people are not educated enough that there have been several legislation. In the recent time, we have almost 16 acts that have been signed by the president. When you look at some of those acts, there are actually provisions of the Confab report of 2014 that has already been embedded. We don't have to shout the word constitution before we start restructuring before we start actually reconstructing the country. But part of the failure of government is what I now see the DSS saying. The government, particularly under this administration, have not been communicating with the people. Communication is only happening now sparingly. One of the things you will find about countries that work is that the president, the intelligence services communicate with the people on a daily basis. I work with some of the government parastatals in this country. I take training, I lead trainings and stuff like this. And you look at things like nearby you here, the Chartered Management Institute. Their website is nowhere to be found. This country is we're still like 70 years behind time. In my view, the president should be talking to the country at least 3-4 times. Not, I assure you. You know, I love Mr. President, but I don't want to be assured. I want to hear you. I want to feel your smile. I want to see your cry. I want to see, and you know what? Now I see President Buhari actually come on screen without notes or without the special, you know, and he's talking and he's more real. He's more empathic. And I feel if President Buhari was doing this 3 times in a week, the people will love him more. People will understand. The incoming administration must understand that the DSS, the police, the military, the presidency, INEC must be talking to Nigeria on a daily basis. They will throw some banters at you. They will laugh at you. Nigerian, parastatals, DSS should follow some key Nigerians on Instagram, on Twitter, respond to their tweet, retweet their tweet. This is how we know. If not, government is far removed from the people.
All right. Well, the Nigerian people, the Nigerian situation is very peculiar in such a way that, of course, the issue of communication is key because it helps people understand and feel the pulse of what you want to do and what you intend to do and how you're doing it and all of that. But the level of the challenge that we have, whether it is security, whether it is poverty, whether it's economy, unemployment, and all of that, some Nigerians will say, please, what we want now, is for those things to be handled. It's not necessarily for us to see your face every day. But the point there is, all of that is important if you see it in the long run. We want to see the president, we want to hear him talk about all of these challenges as much as he's also working towards ensuring that he solves all of the problems. All right, Michael, I'll come back to you shortly. Let's go on another break, and then we come back for me to ask you the next line of action. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast.